Attention, stations on the network. Our broadcast will begin in 15 minutes from my mark. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, mark. That was your 15-minute time check, stations. Attention, stations on the network. Our broadcast will begin in 10 minutes from my mark. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, mark. That was your 10-minute time check, stations.
on the Hawkeye Sports Network from Learfield. Live from View Rooftop at the Hilton Garden Inn in downtown Iowa City. This is Hawk Talk, brought to you by Steel. This fall, power up with Steel, a proud supporter of the Iowa Hawkeyes. Bud Light, easy to drink, easy to enjoy. U.S. Cellular, the official wireless partner of the Iowa Hawkeyes. U.S. Cellular, built for us. Iowa Corn. You might think Iowa just grows corn, but the truth is, corn grows Iowa. Brought to you by Iowa's corn farmers of the Iowa Corn Growers Association and the Iowa Corn Promotion Board. Your Iowa John Deere dealers. John Deere loves to see the Hawkeyes do their thing, because if anyone can appreciate building a legacy, it's Deere. Also brought to you by your local Ford dealers. University of Iowa Healthcare, changing medicine, changing lives. Lennox and your local Lennox home comfort specialist, made right here in Iowa since 1895. And by Mid-American Energy. Mid-American Energy is proud to deliver affordable, reliable energy to you all season long. This is Hawk Talk with Kirk Ferentz. Here's Gary Dolphin.
And hi, everybody. Welcome to our swan song, our final Hawk Talk with Kirk Ferentz. Normally, we're at View Rooftop, 12th floor of the Hilton Garden Inn, downtown Iowa City. But because of Hawkeye basketball broadcast commitments, Ben McCullum's team and Coach Jan Jensen will be playing at midweek. By the way, happy Thanksgiving. Should have said that right out of the gate. And as you know, there's a lot of collegiate basketball tournaments around the Thanksgiving and Christmas holidays. So both the Hawks will be in action this coming week. The men play on Wednesday night. When we normally have Hawk Talk with Coach Ferentz, that won't happen. So our final show is here on Monday night, and we're broadcasting with my broadcast partner, my football broadcast partner, Pat Anger, who was a heck of a running back. Could have been at Iowa, but at Bettendorf High School, two-way player. And you played soccer, and you wrestled. I mean, you were such a multi-purpose athlete. I don't think people realize that.
I was so slow they didn't let me play offense in school. I was one of the few guys they wouldn't let play offense. But defense is just better. That's where they put the cool guys. That's where they put the best-looking dudes.
Especially a linebacker, right?
Yeah, and you've got to be smart to play defense. You don't got to be very smart to play defense.
We had a very smart defense on Saturday against Michigan State, and it was needed because as I said in our pregame coverage, Iowa and Michigan State have, up until that point, had split the last 10 meetings, going back almost 15 years. Unfortunately, the old traditional rivalries, they don't play every year now because of this 18-team league, which I'm okay with, but Michigan State has always had a physical, athletic, fast, on both sides of the line of scrimmage, and they brought their best with them on Saturday, but the Hawks had enough answers, especially in that fourth quarter. Give us your overall summation.
Yeah, we kept ourselves in the game. It wasn't pretty to begin with. Obviously, we didn't play our best football to start, but we stayed in the game, and defense really helped us, and also special teams obviously helped us. Fourth quarter, we came on strong, and when we needed, big plays here and there, we got them, and they finished. And it was really, honestly, you're just happy for the guys because it's been a year of close game losses, and they finally found a way to come through on senior day to make things even better.
Ironically, for the most of the month of November, maybe the end of October, we've seen the Hawks with a fast start, scoring on that first possession. Get that lead early. Gronowski getting better and better and more comfortable week by week. Caden Weegan doing his thing. Drew Stevens kicking field goals. That wasn't the case on Saturday. It was the fourth quarter where they cranked up the O. The defense held them in there. Defense and special teams for most of the 60 minutes, and then Gronowski went to work. Man, was that a thing of beauty to watch in that fourth quarter. 13-0. Iowa outscored the Spartans and rallied to nip them at the buzzer.
Yeah, you could just see confidence, him gaining confidence there. Receiver stepping up, tight end stepping up, making throws, making the plays, those 50-50 plays that we haven't had the opportunity to make. Those have been going the other way kind of all year, and it happened, and it worked, and they stepped up. And Marcus, it's been a while since we've had a guy, I feel like, that, hey, we got a shot with him. We always got a shot. We're never out of the fight. And this team, too, I do feel like we are never out of the fight with this team as well. So really happy for them, to go out there, compete, and get a win.
The Hawks got to that point, the Hawks got 200 of their 300 total yards in the fourth quarter. But prior to that, they needed a spark to at least keep them in there. I mean, the Iowa defense was spectacular from start to finish. But Caden Weegan with 165 return yards, 147 of those on punt returns. We should be shocked and surprised every week by what this guy does, but in a good way, I'm not.
No, absolutely not. It's so exciting, and honestly, I'm really shocked and surprised that they continue to kick the ball to him. You heard the Michigan State coach talking about how we wanted to test him out, we wanted the challenge, and they learned they had to adjust their kicking. His spark, his first return, holy moly, was absolutely amazing. You just kind of knew something was building there, and he ended up getting one, and he thinks he should have got two. That's the type of guy. I've never seen somebody catch the ball and get to 100 miles an hour faster than him. It's just unbelievable.
Kind of like an Indy car leaving Gasoline Alley, right?
Yeah.
Leaving the pits. Let's relive that moment that Caden Weegan produced a 62-yard punt return for a touchdown. This is late in the first quarter.
Weegan back at his own 35-yard line. 3:55 to play first quarter. And no score. Here comes the punt, another beauty by Eckley, but a chance for a return here by Weegan. Oh, he split two defenders. He's at midfield. 45-40, 35-30. One man to beat. 20-15. Touchdown! Touchdown, Iowa! This time Weegan finished the deal.
He did finish the deal. He got a text Saturday morning, he said, from Tim Dwight. Tim Dwight, up until game day, had the school record, 5 returns, punt and kicks for touchdowns. Weegan got number 6 with that one. And TD said, go break my record. And Weegan said, okay. I mean, he is an amazing personality, and usually those make for great football players.
Yeah, both have that same fighting mindset, and for Weegan to come in, really, this is his second year of returning. This is really he's done this in 2 years. It's just amazing. The guy is a fighter and a competitor, and just like Tim Dwight, you've got to be a little crazy to be a punt returner. I mean, it is not a safe position, and both those guys have the same toughness. They're fearless, and they're going to go out there and they're going to make plays.
That was it for the Hawkeyes scoring in the first half. Connington of Michigan State kicked a 27-yard field goal, and there we are sitting at 7-3 Iowa at the intermission. So you had to feel really good that despite the offensive struggles, and Michigan State's defense had a lot to do with that the Hawks were going to find a way, because we know how they make adjustments at halftime.
Yeah, 100%. I figured we'd come out there, we'd get some long drives, we'd shut them down, and unfortunately, it was actually the complete opposite. It was the complete opposite. Michigan State started to get hot, and we were trying to catch up.
Yeah, Michigan State with a couple of touchdowns. This Milivojevic, who came into the season a backup to Aiden Childs, their regular quarterback, who beat Iowa at Michigan State a year ago. Childs has a leg injury, did not play. And this Milivojevic, ironically from Naperville, Illinois, where Mark Gronowski's from. Mark Gronowski coached this kid when he was in junior high school. And he obviously did a pretty good job coaching him. He threw 2 touchdown passes. So here you go to the fourth quarter with Michigan State in front 17-3. What were your thoughts at that point?
Yeah, well, not a lot of positives, to be honest with you. I thought Milivojevic, I thought he did like you said, great job. He was smart. He made the right decisions. We're going to that fourth quarter. They've got us beat in the turnover margin. Pretty much every single statistical fact they have us beat there, and we just couldn't. There was no momentum at all. And but you're still thinking, this team, this group of guys, they can do it. They've got the right leaders and the right staff to get this game under control.
Oh, one good special teams play deserves another. And the Hawks have 2 All-Americans in Weegan and Drew Stevens, who would kick his 4th game-winning field goal as the game ended. But it was important that Iowa get points. There's still 17-3 17-7 in favor of Michigan State when Stevens, with just under 5 minutes to go in the game, at the end of a 67-yard 9-play drive, puts the Hawks on the board for the first time in the second half.
26 yards, counting the 10 of the end zone. And the kick is up and good, right through.
And that was a frustrating end of the drive. The Hawks, Gronowski had him on the move, but Michigan State revved up, stopped him. And I know the crowd wasn't happy, but you got to get points when you can, knowing the Iowa defense is going to go out there and make stops.
Yeah, that 3 points ended up being very important. Obviously wanted to score there, but they did a good job bowing up in the red zone.
So fast forward, the Hawks do get the ball back, minute 29 to go in the game. And Jacob Gill, who's been a pleasant find since transferring over from Northwestern, catches this touchdown throw from Gronowski.
2nd down, 9. Gronowski throws and caught. Is it caught? Sure looks like it. Jacob Gill, touchdown! Touchdown, Iowa! What a catch! What a throw!
It was a laser of a throw, and you look at the replay, and Jacob's backpedaling into the end zone. The cornerback's got great coverage.
Yep.
He gets his hands up, and the ball is thrown so fast. He slows it down with his gloves, and the point of the football hits him right in the middle of the crown of the helmet, or the front of the helmet, and it comes back into his hands where he cradles it to his chest, and falls on his back for a touchdown. One of the more amazing scores that I've ever seen. Yeah,
the throw, there's been the last couple of weeks, these quarterbacks that we played have made these throws where we've been in great coverage, and that's just a perfect throw. And it was great to have one on our end too. Mark put that perfectly, and Jacob went up and made a really great catch in a tough position, and it was just so huge because I think both those guys, they epitomize what Iowa football is. They're tough, they're smart, they're physical, they do everything right. They come up and they show up every day and work really hard.
Well, that set the stage for the dynamics, the heroics. The defense again comes out, gets a stop. Iowa gets the ball back. 2 huge pass plays. Gronowski to Vanami and then to Reese Vandersee. Reese had been covered up pretty good the entire game, but, man, he made that 25-yard catch that put Drew Stevens in position.
Yeah, it was great. It was almost like he had to jump up, and he pulled it off the defender's back and brought it in. And just a huge time to make, the first catch of the day, and I'm glad he did.
And here's Drew Stevens with the game winner as time expired.
Been in real time. Let's go. Nissen will hold. Here's the snap from 44 yards. Kick on the way. It is good. It's good. The All-American is All-American again.
What a gritty performance by this Iowa football team.
Sure was in all 3 phases. All 3 phases contributed. The offense outscoring Michigan State, lucky 13-0 in that fourth quarter. And Drew Stevens with his 4th career game-winning kick. Iowa's had so many great kickers with Nate Kading. I know there were some before him, but in the Kirk Ferentz era, it's been Kading and Danny Murray and Kyle Schlicker and Marshall Kane and Michael Meyer and Drew Stevens and I know I'm going to miss
Keith Duncan.
Keith Duncan, another All-American. Yeah. So obviously a lot of the credit goes to LeVar Woods. Yeah. He finds them, whether it's punting or kicking. Torrey Taylor, lately, Reese Dakin's been solid. But if ever there's an illustration of how important special teams are, and we've seen it over and over and over again.
Yeah, these guys all have the right mindset. They all have similar, they're very confident, maybe a little cocky. Nothing scares them, and they have. You got to have that as a quarter or as a kicker. You got to have short-term memory. They're internally motivated. They all have that little wiry. They'll fight you. They don't care. They think they're 10 feet tall, and that's why in these big positions they're always solid.
I like that, internally motivated, like the All-American middle linebacker was for so many years at Iowa. Well, we'll take a break. Great start to the show. Hawks are 7-3. Or 7-4, excuse me, as they head to Lincoln for the day after Thanksgiving for a Black Friday season closer. We'll talk more on that when Coach Ferentz arrives here shortly. We thank the View Rooftop for hosting us each and every Wednesday night this season for Hawk Talk. You can stop by on Football Saturdays or Football Fridays at View Rooftop for a great experience unique to Iowa City. Immerse yourself in an invigorating environment with contemporary indoor and outdoor seating. High-definition televisions for watching the game, game day specials, and live music. Enjoy the camaraderie and celebrate with a toast at View Rooftop in the Hilton Garden Inn, downtown Iowa City. Call for reservations. The number is 319-519-4650. 319-519-4650. We're also sponsored by Hawkeyes. Every great season starts with a strong foundation, and for farmers, that foundation is a healthy soil. Got to tend it in the wintertime like they do in the spring as well. And at Hawkeyes, they're restoring life to the soil with over 800 species of microbes, helping grow stronger crops, more profitable farms, and healthier communities. And that's what it's all about. Hawkeyes, the future of farming, starts right here. You can learn more at hawkeyes.com. Back as we continue our wrap-up show on Hawk Talk with Kirk Ferentz from Learfield right after this.
When it comes to holiday giving, Steel delivers power that lasts. From leaf blowers to pruners, every Steel battery tool is built to perform. And right now, batteries are included. Buy select battery tool sets and get a free extra battery this season. Find savings and gift ideas at SteelUSA.com. Happy holidays from Steel. Proud supporter of the Iowa Hawkeyes. Offer valid for a limited time only at participating dealers while supplies last.
How do you become America's best-selling brand? Let's break it down. Innovative tech means smarter and safer driving. Intelligent all-wheel drive will keep you ready for anything. And built Ford tough trucks will always get the job done. Plus, come into your local Ford store today and get super low APR financing, big cash back, and great lease offers on Ford's full line of cars, trucks, and SUVs. That's Ford, and that's how you become America's best-selling brand. Sales claim based on calendar year sales.
If you love great Hawkeye stories, don't miss the Fight for Iowa podcast with Gary Dolphin. Each week, Dolph brings you in-depth conversations with the athletes, coaches, and community members who define the Hawkeye spirit. From big moments to personal journeys, it's the stories that make Iowa special. Catch new episodes every week. Search Fight for Iowa wherever you get your podcasts.
Can you think of anything that costs the same today as it did 10 years ago? There isn't much. That is, unless you're a Mid-American Energy customer. Thanks to all the renewable energy we're generating, our customers pay nearly the same rate for electricity today as they did back when we were all singing, "Call Me Maybe." And with Mid-American making even more investments in clean energy, you can count on enjoying those same affordable rates for the next decade. Now that's obsessively, relentlessly at your service.
We love it when the Hawkeyes do their thing, because if there's anyone who can appreciate building a legacy, it's John Deere. We've been growing our team since 1837, recruiting the best thinkers, doers, and makers to craft innovations that outpace the competition. Because whether it's cultivating the earth with a tractor or reshaping it with a 40-ton excavator, the machines we build are building America. Nothing runs like a Deere.
You might think Iowa grows corn, but the truth is, corn grows Iowa. Corn can even fuel your drive to watch the Hawkeyes play when you choose Unleaded 88. It's a fuel that's cheaper, cleaner, and greener. Plus, it's homegrown, making Unleaded 88 the clear choice at the pump and totally worth the hype. So as you head to cheer on the Hawkeyes this season, don't just fuel up. Pump it up with Unleaded 88. Find Unleaded 88 at a station near you. Go to iowacorn.org/88.
Hi, everybody, and welcome back to Hawk Talk with Iowa football coach Kirk Ferentz, sponsored by View Rooftop. Normally, we're at View Rooftop in downtown Iowa City, but because of the Thanksgiving holiday and basketball game broadcast commitments, we're shooting our final show from the Iowa running backs room, and how appropriate. Pat Anger, because Kamari Moulton has been rock solid. That whole group has been solid all year long.
Absolutely. Kamari is silently just having an absolutely amazing season. He has been so tough for us. And all those guys, they've all contributed, and they've played tremendously well. And a lot of it has to do with how athletic and strong and tough and smart they are, but also amazing O-line we have.
Moulton, that offensive line of finals for the Joe Moore Award. Moulton with 80 yards led Iowa in rushing again last Saturday. This week, Nebraska, now that's an 11 o'clock start, so our pregame coverage starts at 9 a.m. on Friday morning. I'll get him up, and we'll be there in plenty of time. Don't worry about it. But it's such a special week. Not only is it Thanksgiving, and we all have plenty to be thankful for, but it's the Pioneer Heroes game. Pioneer is proud to sponsor the annual Iowa-Nebraska Heroes game by honoring local heroes that live and work in the communities we serve every day. Thanks to Pioneer for us. By the way, a great Iowa company, for a special day today as we celebrate Ashley De La Cruz Martin from Nebraska and Jace Koob, who is representing the great state of Iowa in the Pioneer Heroes game. Congratulations to both. We want to thank all those who were nominated by you folks and make such a huge difference and an impact in our lives every day of the week. Matt Randazzo has a special interview on this year's Pioneer Heroes selection right after we pause 10 seconds for station identification and we go around the Hawkeye Radio Network on Hawk Talk with Kirk Ferentz.
Welcome back to Hawk Talk with Kirk Ferentz as we get ready for the Pioneer Heroes game coming up between Iowa and Nebraska. And we're joined now by Scott Walker, the marketing manager for Pioneer. This relationship, and obviously it's the Pioneer Heroes game. It's your guys' third year the Pioneer has sponsored the game. What does that mean to be the sponsor of a Heroes game? Not just a great rivalry, but the Heroes game itself.
Yeah, obviously, as you know, living in the state of Iowa, but agriculture is pretty important to both of these states. So the Iowa and Nebraska are number one industry in both of the states, and Pioneer being a local company based right here in Johnston, Iowa. It just makes sense for Pioneer to be involved in this and having the opportunity to look and help nominate and choose the heroes for both the University of Iowa and the University of Nebraska.
You look at the heroes, and I'm sure, Scott, some amazing nominees when it came to who could be the heroes for the game. I want to talk a little bit about Jace and the selection process. Obviously, Jace's story is so special and unique. What was that selection process like? And then obviously to have Jace as the heroes captain from Iowa, pretty special as well.
Yeah. So the nomination process, as you know, it opens up all during the fall. We typically open it up during the Big Ten media days there in late July and keep that open through the first couple of weeks of October. And I think we had over 70 nominations come in from the state of Iowa. So we narrowed it down to a handful, and it was a unanimous decision to go with Jason and the heroic act that he did. Obviously, we know the story, but being able to, as a young man, to run up the road and call for help when his siblings and friends were in danger in their house fire. So we all know that story.
No, absolutely. And it was a very deserving heroes captain. That is for sure. Scott, Pioneer's turning 100 in 2026. And usually when it comes to great companies, having some standing power and being around for a while is a great thing. What does it mean to hear that number, 100 years serving and doing here in the state of Iowa and the Midwest?
Yeah, so 2026 marks our 100th anniversary, and really Henry A. Wallace, he started Pioneer back in 1926, and very few companies make it to 100 years. I think it's less than 5% of all companies out there make it to 100 years old, and we're looking forward to celebrating next year our 100th anniversary with all the farmers across Iowa, Nebraska, across the U.S. So really one farmer can really make a difference, and that really starts with one. 100 starts with one. So looking forward to 1926 to 2026 and celebrating with all the farmers, and really it's not possible without them.
No, absolutely. You look at it too, Scott, and these two states, you just mentioned it, Nebraska and Iowa, so important when it comes to agriculture. Kind of talk about that and the fit that Pioneer is between not just these two states, but this game in particular, because agriculture is so important in the state of Nebraska and the state of Iowa as well.
Yeah, if you, look at some of the statistics out there, I think if you look it up, Iowa would be the fourth largest country on its own in as far as corn production. Wow. Nebraska, I think, it would be the sixth largest country if they were their own country standalone. So that just tells you how important it is and what farmers are doing each and every day to provide food. And for all the people, and not just here in the states of Iowa and Nebraska, but all across the world.
Absolutely. Let's talk a little bit about Pioneer and how some products are performing this fall, and kind of update us on what Pioneer is doing, not just 100 years ago, like we just talked about, but right here, right now, this fall.
Yeah. So harvest is wrapping up, pretty well wrapped up across both of these states. Our performance numbers have really been second to none. I mean, really coming in and producing above and beyond what the competition has out there. I think on corn production, just in the state of Iowa, we're seeing about a 9 bushel advantage with our products against the competitors, and about 3.5 bushel advantage on our soybeans against competitors in the state of Iowa with our Z-Series soybeans. So just having customers out there and farmers, it allows us to continue to innovate and look down the road to bring the next best thing out there, because as we know, the world population is continuing to grow and get bigger, and we need to continue to be able to provide to growers and make sure that we're leading the charge of innovation.
Scott, before I let you go, we have to talk a little football. And I don't want to look at these two teams in particular, but just this rivalry in this series. You look at the two states and how similar they are, especially when it comes to agriculture. I know you love agriculture and farming. Football wise, this is a pretty fun rivalry, is it not?
It's a really fun, and just sitting in my seat and having the opportunity to work with our sales teams in both the state of Iowa and the state of Nebraska. It's always been a fun little ribbing back and forth. I do know one thing is the game's probably going to come down to a last second field goal. And I would hope that maybe the Hawkeyes can take the lead a little bit earlier this year. And so we don't have to sit on hands and our pins and needles and wait for a 13-10 victory.
Talk about prophetic. Wow. That's why Scott's at Pioneer. Thank you, Matt Randazzo, and thanks to Pioneer Marketing Manager Scott Walker for joining us on Hawk Talk this evening. We're thrilled to have Pioneer back on board for another season. Great Iowa company. And, as we look ahead to Friday in Lincoln, it's not just a big football matchup, a great rivalry as it always is with the Huskers. It's the 15th annual Heroes Game presented by Pioneer Seeds. Each year, Iowa and Nebraska honor one citizen hero from each state whose actions embody courage, service, and community spirit. And this year's Hawkeye State hero, Iowa hero, is 12-year-old Jace Kobe. Jace is a 6th grader from MOC Floyd Valley Community School District. That's Maurice, Orange City, Floyd Valley, up there in the great part of the state, northwest Iowa. And in the middle of the night, Jace woke up to heavy smoke and alarms in his home. With no phone and no one else awake, he made it out of the burning structure, traveled nearly a mile through rural Sioux County on a UTV in pitch darkness to alert neighbors and ask for help. They called 911. But while the tragic fire claimed the lives of 3 teenagers, Jace's courage and quick action saved a 4th teen's life. Jace, along with Nebraska's hero, Ashley De La Cruz Martin, will be honored Friday at Memorial Stadium, and they'll receive on-field recognition at halftime and have their names engraved on the Heroes Game trophy. A remarkable young Iowan with a phenomenal family. We had a chance to meet them recently and do an interview with them, which you will hear. A powerful reminder that this rivalry, Iowa and Nebraska, is so much more than a football game. It's about celebrating the heroes in our communities in Middle America, 2 great farming states, Iowa and Nebraska. And this event would not happen without the great support and structure of Pioneer Seeds. Thank you, Pioneer, and thank you, Scott Walker and Matt Randazzo, for that terrific interview. All right, we're back to talk with Coach Ferentz, continue our conversation with Pat Anger as we continue our final Hawk Talk of the season, courtesy of View Rooftop. We're brought to you by Iowa Corn. Throughout the Iowa Corn Cy-Hawk series, Iowa Corn promotes honest, hardworking values that are uniquely Iowan. On behalf of Iowa's corn farmers, we salute all athletes for their hard work and determination to be the best both on and off the field. Just like our top athletes, our state leads the nation in corn and ethanol production. Go to iowacorn.org and learn how corn grows Iowa. Coach Ferentz joins us in just a minute as we continue to review Iowa's electrifying win over Michigan State. That's next on Hawk Talk from View Rooftop and Learfield.
Hello, seafood fans. This is Bruce Gerleman, and I own Splash Seafood Bar and Grill. Have you been to Splash lately? Come back downtown and let me spoil you. White linens, fresh flowers, candlelight, award-winning wine lists, professional staff, and best of all, my fresh fish are jetted in from Hawaii every morning. Enjoy my homemade lobsters, Alaskan king crab, fresh oysters from the cold, clear, clean waters of the Pacific Northwest. My favorite is the surf and turf featuring my hand-cut prime steaks and lobster. Splash, a truly special evening of adult indulgence.
Iowa fans, with US Mode from US Cellular, you can keep your eye on the game, not on your screen. Whether you're inside the stadium, tailgating in the lots, or listening to the game at home, US Cellular wants you to focus on genuine connections with your family, friends, and fellow Hawkeye fans. That means at game time, you should do less growling and more cheering. So eliminate distractions and build connections by setting your phone to US Mode, because game day is for cheering on the Hawkeyes. Go Hawks! US Cellular, built for us.
Hello, Iowa. Here's a promise. Wherever you are in this great state, University of Iowa Healthcare is here for you, even if you never walk through our doors. Educating, caring, leading research, sharing our expertise with all. Because we believe that UI Healthcare is here to make all of Iowa better. UI Healthcare, changing medicine, changing lives. Visit uihealthcare.org.
The silly moments, the proud moments, even the hard moments. They're what make life remarkable. And they're why Wellmark Blue Cross and Blue Shield is here for every moment. Committed to making healthcare better, more affordable, with more choices for care. And service and coverage that give you peace of mind no matter what comes your way. So you can show up for every tender moment, every brave moment, and every wouldn't miss it for the world moment, knowing that Blue is here for you. Go to wellmark.com/every moment to find a plan right for you.
You asked for all the extreme internet performance at an all-in price, and we listened. Get 1 gig internet with a 2-year price lock and everything included. Unlimited data for non-stop streaming, powerful Wi-Fi for enhanced coverage, built-in online threat protection, and internet equipment. All for just $65 a month for 2 years. It's the extreme 1 gig internet deal you asked for. Call 844-4FASTER or visit extreme.com for details. Offer available to new customers only. Price doesn't include one-time charges, tax, and government fees.
Hawkeye fans, elevate your game day with the Kennick Premium Tailgate, presented by Navigate Wellbeing Solutions. Imagine your own 10x10 tent and prime parking pads, all inside Krause Family Plaza, the closest tailgating to the stadium. Enjoy the energy, the atmosphere, and the convenience of being just steps away from kickoff. Secure your Kennick Premium Tailgate today at hawkeyesports.com/tailgate. Make every game day unforgettable with the Kennick Premium Tailgate, presented by Navigate Wellbeing Solutions.
And welcome back to our final Hawk Talk with Coach Ferentz for the 2025 football season. And this past week ended on a great note with the come-from-behind win over the Michigan State Spartans. And coming up on Friday, I keep wanting to say Saturday, Friday at 11 o'clock out in Lincoln, this one will be another grinder, as it usually is in the last decade. Coach, first off, welcome to your show. We were talking earlier, Pat and I, about the last 10 meetings between Iowa and Michigan State have been split 5-5 up until Saturday, of course. The Nebraska series has been no different. We'll talk about that in a minute. But just your reflections, your look back to Saturday's incredible comeback in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, I was even thinking back to the 80s. You know, we had such a back and forth exchange with those guys. We for whatever reason, we've had traditionally just crazy games, close games with Michigan State, and then certainly this game was no different. And you know, it was not looking good for us. I think probably a lot of people noticed that. First 3 quarters, it just seemed like we couldn't get anything going. Just can't put my finger on it. And as I told the team, I said, you know, sometimes that's the way football is. You know, you just we've really pretty much come out of the gate 10 for 10. Prior to yesterday's game, but boy, it was just nothing was easy yesterday, and I think the credit certainly goes to Michigan State. We expected that. I tried to share with our team during the week that the last 2 games, these guys have really competed.
Yeah.
You go back a couple weeks ago, they're 0-5 in the league, and you know there are teams that would maybe take their foot off the gas at that point, and they clearly haven't. They've played extremely well up at Minnesota, lost in overtime, and then you know, last week they were losing to Penn State 14-10 55 minutes into it. So I think, the average person saw the final score and figured it was an easy game. Nothing of the sort. And Penn State's a very talented team. So I give them a lot of credit. Give Coach Smith. It's not easy keeping a team together when things aren't going the way you want. And I think he and his staff have done a wonderful job. Not that it's my job to judge them, but I really admire what they've done. It looks to me, it was like our team in 2000 where we were just trying to, try to get some traction.
Sure.
And sometimes it's slow coming, but give them a lot of credit. And they played us off their feet yesterday. And so, we knew it was going to be tough to move the ball. And they did a good job taking the run away. We didn't throw the ball well. And then, for whatever reason, the fourth quarter, things just kind of came together. And we completed a couple passes and, started to get a little bit of momentum and came up with some big plays. And thinking about that in the bed last night, just, thinking about things, ironically or interestingly, that throw down the sideline to Reese, very similar to what Oregon hit us on a couple of weeks ago before the field goal.
Yeah.
So, just almost same place. And but just, really give our guys a ton of credit. The coaches kept coaching, the players kept playing, and they kept believing. That's the most important thing. So if you do that, you give yourself a chance. And really proud of our guys first and foremost for, staying with it. Second, very happy for them. And if you're going to have a good season, you have to weather games like this, unfortunately. And coming in the locker room last night, Ray Braithwaite said, it's like Purdue in 2002, which it is. I got thinking about that a little bit more, too. And the other one that year was over at Indiana. The state of Indiana had us that year. We had I think Grant Steen had 3 picks in the red zone. Otherwise, we're dead in the water against a team that hadn't won yet. Very similar. And those were our 2 toughest games that year from my vantage point. So, it's football. And, just really proud of our guys. And to get a win like that really means an awful lot. And then to your point now we try short week and go over to Nebraska, and we've had some, just unbelievably close games with them too. So, it'd be nice to have a little breathing room someday, but not counting on it this week. It'll probably be another tight game. Yeah, exactly.
Well, and it'll be Nebraska's senior day, and they'll be snorting mad after what happened at Happy Valley and State College on Saturday night with Penn State pulling out the victory over the Huskers. We'll come back to Nebraska in a minute. Pat and I have been discussing prior to your arrival, Coach, special teams and the great heroics of Gronowski and Reese and others in that fourth quarter, which led to Stevens' game-winning field goal. Let me ask the great middle linebacker here of the Hawkeyes to quiz him something about the defense, because it's easy to get that gets lost in all this is the consistent performance of 4 quarters by that Iowa defense, Pat.
Yeah, I mean the huge red zone stop that was ginormous to hold them to 3, and those points were amazing at the end. And then 2 really great stops at the end to force them to punt to give us the ball back. Talk about the growth of the defense and them stepping up and making great plays, because but the other team, Oregon, USC, toward the end they've been making the plays, and not that our guys weren't there, not that lack of effort, they just weren't able to make the plays. Now it was our turn. We made the plays.
Yeah, it was a very similar situation to some of those games, and we've had tough times at the end, but yeah, those stops are huge. Just to get the ball, we don't have the opportunity to win the game without those stops. And the reality of it is, really, we gave up the one big play, unfortunately, but let us get we let them get behind us a little bit. But outside of that, I thought the defense really competed well. And again, you're in a game like that, and I'm thinking about the Indiana game in 2002. You just got to keep playing, and if you can keep the points off the board, then you have a chance, because it wasn't going well, and there's no guarantee it was going to go well. But the good news is that we hung in there, and then fourth quarter came alive offensively, but it was truly a team effort, and that's all three components are really critical. And defensively we've had it's tough without TJ in there a little bit. We've had a couple dents in our armor a little bit there, and then losing TJ, he's been playing so well this year, and Xavier had to come out for a while. Caloric jumped in there and did a nice job. So truly a team effort, and we're rotating linebackers. Just a lot of good things, a lot of good plays out there, and certainly our seniors are really playing hard.
Kirk, I think we've run out of superlatives in a good way to describe Caden Weegan and/or Drew Stevens. You got an All-American kicker and All-American returner, 165 yards of returns. We were looking at some notes before you arrived. For his career, Caden Weidman, correct me if I'm wrong, Pat, has a punt return average of 17.7 yards, which is the most in the history of the Big Ten. You have to go back to 1942 to find an Indiana punt returner that was close to that number. Especially, we talk all the time about how important special teams are, so a twofold question here. Weidman, Stevens, talk about hand to glove, and then LeVar Woods, who's kind of the curator, the parent of special teams, and both on the postgame show Saturday night mentioned LeVar right away.
I probably could go a half hour on that one. It's all three. Let's start with Drew. The field goal he made at the end was obviously a big field goal, but I think the bigger story there is for him to come back off a disappointing miss earlier. Not that that was a chip shot. That's a hard field goal. But, I've never been a specialist in that regard. But, you play some other stuff. It just that's what those guys do. Like, they get their opportunities are limited. They're not out there that often. And, my observation is, like, the life of a field goal kicker, it's kind of like a closer in baseball. You get out there and you got your moment. And if it doesn't go well, it's got to work on your mind a little bit. So, I'm sure he was gnawing on that for the rest of the game, and fortunately got a chance to get out there and have another crack at it. But I'm sure you can go some strange places mentally after something like that. So for him to come back and just nail it like he did, that was that really says a lot. And then the bigger picture with him, and both guys we're talking about here. You think about Drew surpassing some of Nate Kading's marks. That's I think he's surpassed them all now.
Top of the mountain.
I mean, that's pretty high territory there, and Nate really set the bar here 25 years ago. And then same thing with Caden, where you got Tim Dwight, who, was an unbelievable player. Everybody knows that. And now this guy's gone beyond it. And that's what I was asking LeVar afterwards. And, I think it was after I talked to you in the locker room last night. But I don't know if I've ever seen anything like that. I mean, he single-handedly kept us in the game. A punt returner kept us in the game, and that's, it's pretty amazing. But gosh, when he gets the ball, he's just electric. He's fearless. He's got great vision. And LeVar still thinks he missed one more. He might have had another one. I thought he overdid it a little bit on one. But to that point, I mean, it's just just spectacular. And I think the cool thing about that too was it just didn't happen for him. He's been here a couple of years. But the level he's playing at right now is just a different player than he was 2 years ago. And he was fast as hell back then, and he's fearless. But he just didn't, he's learned how to really play.
Yeah.
And then he's got a skill set that's so unique and a courage that it takes to play like that. So, it's just amazing. And as LeVar and I were talking about, I remember being in Baltimore. I can't remember if it was our first or second draft. We recruited a return guy out of Maryland who had a great career. And, I don't know if I remember him being as good as Weege. So, it's just it's been around some good players. But, man, oh, man, just unbelievable. And then, LeVar's done a great job. And it's really, I think, fortunate the NCAA created that extra, the 10th position
for sure
a couple of years ago. So it really allowed us to have a coach dedicated to that. And, LeVar was working with the tight ends. He had worked with the linebackers. He just seemed like the right guy, and boy, he has just taken it and run with it, and is coaching at such a high level and has been now for multiple years, not just this last couple of years. He's done a great job with it. So, just like Weege's, growth and ascension, and Phil Parker's a much better coordinator today than he was in 2012. Sure. It's the same thing with LeVar. He's top of the list, and just really appreciate the work he does, and it's we're very fortunate to have that kind of leadership in the building.
All right, Hawk Talk with Kirk Ferentz will continue on behalf of View Rooftop. When we return, when we come back, we'll head to Twitter and Facebook. A couple of questions. Of course, a lot of comments about Saturday's electrifying come-from-behind win over Michigan State. We're sponsored by Hawkeye Village. Think about 2026, Hawk fans. You can entertain your friends, clients, or employees next season in Hawkeye Village, presented by Navigate Wellbeing Solutions. Packages include game tickets and catered food and beverages. Watch for 2026 details at HawkeyeSports.com. That's HawkeyeSports.com. Navigate Wellbeing Solutions helps organizations build healthier, happier communities. Learn more at NavigateWell.com. navigatewell.com. More coming with Coach Ferentz from our running backs room position here in the beautiful Hanson Performance Center on the Iowa campus. More Hawk Talk with Pat Anger, with Coach Ferentz, and you when we return.
From the roar of the crowd to Carver cones, can't miss plays and heart-pounding finishes. There's something for everyone at an Iowa athletics event. Don't just hear about it or see the clip on your phone. Be part of it. Change up your routine and get your friends together for an Iowa athletics event. Make it a memorable one by visiting HawkeyeSports.com. Fire up the fight song, cue the victory polka, and experience what it means to be a Hawkeye on Iowa, and go Hawks.
How do you become America's best-selling brand? Let's break it down. Innovative tech means smarter and safer driving. Intelligent all-wheel drive will keep you ready for anything. And built Ford tough trucks will always get the job done. Plus, come into your local Ford store today and get super low APR financing, big cash back, and great lease offers on Ford's full line of cars, trucks, and SUVs. That's Ford, and that's how you become America's best-selling brand. Sales claim based on calendar year sales.
At Mid-American Energy, our 1.6 million customers depend on our energy 24/7. That's why we work 24/7 to deliver the safe, reliable energy you need. To keep our 99.9% reliability record, we're enhancing our technology, improving resiliency, and investing in critical infrastructure. We're generating power from all available resources to cover any increases in demand. And we're innovating to ensure you always have the energy you need. Mid-American Energy, obsessively, relentlessly at your service.
Cancer doesn't care. It doesn't care what you look like, how old you are, what you do, or where you live. We do. University of Iowa Healthcare is doing more to beat cancer than anyone in the state. From second opinions to life-saving treatments that happen here first. We lead the way in research, training, and care because we believe that UI Healthcare is here to make all of Iowa better. UI Healthcare, changing medicine, changing lives. Visit uihealthcare.org.
Hi, Hawk fans. Coach Kirk Ferentz here. For 40 years, our players have proudly worn the ANF logo to honor the hardworking farmers who keep this country growing. With fewer farmers working the land, their challenges are bigger, but their commitment never wavers. The Iowa Hawkeyes and the Iowa Farm Bureau are proud to stand with these dedicated families who feed and fuel our nation. Thanks for celebrating 40 years of America Needs Farmers. Let's keep standing strong for the people who keep us going strong. To learn more, visit americaneedsfarmers.org.
We love it when the Hawkeyes do their thing, because if there's anyone who can appreciate building a legacy, it's John Deere. We've been growing our team since 1837, recruiting the best thinkers, doers, and makers to craft innovations that outpace the competition. Because whether it's cultivating the earth with a tractor or reshaping it with a 40-ton excavator, the machines we build are building America. Nothing runs like a Deere.
And thanks to John Deere and all of our great sponsors here on Hawk Talk, especially View Rooftop. Our final show is coming from the running backs room at the Hanson Performance Center. Hawkeye basketball commitments will be playing basketball on tomorrow, Tuesday, and Wednesday out in California with Coach McCullum's new look Hawkeye squad that is unbeaten in 5 games to the start. Iowa, Mississippi tomorrow night here on the Hawkeye Radio Network. That's why we're enjoying Coach Ferentz's final show of the season here on a Monday night. And we're brought to you by a bunch of wonderful sponsors that some you've heard about. But, Coach, we want to thank View Rooftop for their great support. Craig and Miriam and the whole staff here. They've been super great crowds each and every week at View Rooftop here downtown Iowa City.
Yeah, it's a tremendous venue, and we're appreciative. We use that venue for
a lot of recruits,
our recruiting.
Right?
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
we do our big official visit typically in June and host it there. Kick off the weekend in the View, at View, the restaurant part of it.
Yeah.
And, it's a great way to start things out. But yeah, the hospitality there has been great, and just a good environment for the show.
So when Anger visited back in the 2000s, where'd you put him up? Some cabin out in a local city park?
Yeah, I can't remember that far back, actually.
Honestly, I don't even remember either. Mitch King was my host. I remember that.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah. Okay.
You and Mitch King together for the weekend.
Oh, boy.
Do you remember what game you attended?
No.
Yeah.
No, I don't think it was a game. I think it was in the winter.
The wintertime.
Things have changed so much.
Yeah.
I mean, we used to recruit guys after they got done playing.
Right. Not anymore.
And evaluate them after they're done playing, which would make perfect sense for anybody that was thinking logically. But, things have really changed. It's a really interesting process now. But the good thing is, I mean, the whole world of college sports has changed, and it's crazy that way. But the good thing is that the players you get to work with that hasn't changed. It's
for sure.
They're a bunch of great guys that are really trying to do some neat things, and that's a fun part of it.
Great families too, just like our Pioneer Heroes family, the Cobes from up in northwest Iowa, that we'll talk about more as the week goes on. All right, Coach, let's go to Twitter at Gary Dolphin. Mike in Cedar Rapids asks, Coach, you trailed 17-7 entering the fourth quarter, put up all those yards in the fourth period. What changed for your team in that final period that sparked the comeback?
Yeah, that's again. I wish I could answer that. I wish we could have answered that in the first quarter. But Michigan State did a good job. Really bottling up our run game. And one of the objectives when you run the football is try to get your third downs to be manageable. And we just a lot of times we came up, it was 3rd and 6, 3rd and 7, that type of deal. So they were doing a good job. Just playing their straight defense, but also they did a lot of run blitzing. And, we couldn't quite solve that, and we didn't throw the ball effectively. And that's, I think once we hit a couple passes and got everybody settled down a little bit, then things just kind of, broke through and we fell into a rhythm. But that was, it was hard. It just felt like we were going uphill a long part of the day, and Michigan State deserves a lot of credit for that. Their linebackers, the inside backers are good players, and they made it tough on us. So it was, good effort on their part. And Joe Rossi, the D coordinator, is a really good coach, and we've competed against him several times. So, it just they did it, but credit to our guys for sticking with it, and it was I tell you, it was a good feeling once we got going a little bit.
Joe's Greg Schiano disciple, I think, isn't he? And he was, of course, with P.J. Fleck at Minnesota for a number of years. So Joe knows Iowa pretty good, and
he does.
It was a great cat and mouse game. Let's go to, let's see here. Emily is in Waverly. The offense struggled early but found rhythm late. What were the adjustments that you made to get things moving in the fourth quarter, if any?
Yeah, again, I think just trying to get Mark to settle down a little bit, and we hit a couple of those passes. Sam had a good reception there earlier, and then obviously the touchdown to Jake Gill was a big play, and then the one down the sideline at the end. But it's hard to put a finger on it. And offense is really funny that way. Not that we're calling plays a hell of a lot different there at the end of the game, but just trying to find something to get something sparking for us a little bit. And once you can get them to have to respect the pass a little bit more, it makes the run game a little bit easier. So all those things go hand in hand. And I'm not sure exactly what the magic formula was, but at least we were able to find it there in that fourth quarter. And sometimes that's the way football is. Nobody wants to hear it, but it just, you just never know how it's going to go.
Linda in Davenport wants to know, and this is on Drew Stevens, and we've talked about Drew in that game-winning field goal, but I think it's appropriate because every point, all 20 points were scored by seniors, one way or the other, whether it's Gronowski throwing to Gill or Stevens, Weegan, they all contributed. So Linda in Davenport says, drilling that game winner for Drew in the final home game, what does that moment mean for you in the senior class?
Yeah, it's special. And one thing for sure, I mean, Pat can tell you this better than I, but I think every football player remembers their last game as a senior in high school and in college. And I would venture to say, because of our venue here, Kinnick is just a really unique place. And this past week, a couple of people came. I was talking to Jonathan Smith before the game. He had never been here. Anybody that comes in here that knows anything about football, it's like, wow, this is really cool. And so I think, I can't speak. I didn't play at Iowa, but I think for the players that played here, at least the last 27 years, there's really something special about that. The opportunity to come out and greet your family, before the game, and
the swarm,
just everything about it. Yeah, that's the last time they'll swarm in Kinnick. They keep telling the seniors we're not done yet, but it's the last time in Kinnick. So there's a lot of really unique things about it, and I think certainly this will be memorable, and it is fitting that the seniors end up being major contributors yesterday. Not surprising. They've been doing a great job of leading going back to January, and I'm so appreciative of that.
Pat, you went through the final trot out of that Southwest corner end zone and the swarm on Senior Day. It's got to be an emotional, special moment.
Oh, 100%. It's great to be out there with your family, have them experience it, have them, feel the crowd and the emotion and everything in the middle of the field. It's a lot louder when you're out on the field. I just remember, Norm being like, you boys better win your last game in Kinnick, otherwise you're going to regret it your whole life. And we sure wanted to get that win for Coach. And it was a good 17-0 victory. I remember that one. There's so many things that I forget. Like you said, my last game in Kinnick, absolutely remember.
Yep. Not so much Senior Day, but I remember, and I didn't realize this happened every spring, but Coach has typically a senior talk to the new guys, but talk to the team. And it's an empty stadium in spring practice, but Jay Higgins talking to the team about what it means to swarm, to come out of that tunnel. And I'm almost in tears just listening to Higgins explain how important that is for the unity of Iowa football. And, coming from a kid like Jay, a young man like Jay, and he told me, so look, when I got here, he said, I had no idea what I was getting into. I was just so proud and happy to be able to play Big Ten football. I mean, those are true, heartfelt moments. And here's Jay Higgins talking to these wide-eyed freshmen at the end of a spring practice, and they're going to practice the swarm. They're going to come out, fists or handheld. Kirk, that's a great additive to the whole picture.
I never saw it until 1981 when I came here, and it was something that Coach Fry. I don't believe he did it at North Texas, but maybe he did. I could ask Carl Jackson; he'd know that, but. Anyway, that was something he had, put in place here when he got here, and every year he would explain, what the thinking behind it was. And it's just basically representing togetherness, and so that and the uniforms. When I got here 27 years ago, we were going to continue the swarm. That was not negotiable, and that'll be part of the tradition here. At least as long as I'm here, and then we went right back to the old Steeler uniforms too, because
beautiful.
To me, that was the rebirth of Iowa football back in 1981.
Well, I know how important Chuck Noll was you growing up in Pittsburgh.
Yeah, coincidentally, I grew up there, so that was another factor.
Well, coincidentally, he won 5-6 Super Bowls too.
He was first guy to 4. Yep.
I've always found it interesting that Coach Pat had told me a few years ago that Coach Fry, Coach Noll, and Coach Ted Marchibroda were three very important, influential people, coaches in your life, and all three are Hall of Famers. So
Coach
you got
Belichick, Coach Belichick on top of it.
Belichick, certainly, yeah. He will be in the Hall of Fame. He's in a few already, but
let me deviate for 1 second about the uniforms. So Coach Fry called the Steelers and said, hey, can dimensions, blah blah blah. The equipment guy sent a uniform out here. Instead, he says, instead of me telling you about it, I'll just send you one. And then we called back, I guess, and Coach Fry asked, is it okay if we use that, model that? And they said, yeah, why not? Go ahead. So I laugh at it because that's how many years ago, right? 47 years ago. And, today, how many lawyers would be involved in that process?
Oh, my God.
How many what would it cost us to,
how many marketing rights attorneys would be?
God. Life was a lot simpler back then.
I remember in an interview, Coach Fry told me one time, he said, I called Art Rooney. I said, Art, I want to widen that gold pant leg stripe to look more like the Steelers and more plain black helmet. Is that okay with you? And he said, Art said, yeah, sure, Coach. Go right ahead. Thank you for the compliment.
I remember reading in Sports Illustrated, and I had no idea who Hayden Fry was, but they used to have they said it.
Yeah.
In that one column.
They quote,
back when that was a magazine. But anyway, and then magazines were magazines.
Yeah, magazines. Newspapers were newspapers.
They were prominent. But I remember Coach Fry's quote in there that, we may not play like a good team, but we're going to look like a good team. And I was like, who the hell's Hayden Fry? And what are they doing? But I looked at it because of the Steeler uniforms.
John Hayden Fry. It all changed when Hayden arrived in
he had a vision.
Oh, man, did he ever.
Yep.
Talk about a salesman. Talk about a marketing guy.
Boy. Yep.
He was the best. All right, we got to take a break here. We'll come back with Coach Ferentz and Pat Anger, the All-American linebacker of the Hawkeyes from just a few years ago, as we continue our conversation about Iowa's big win over Michigan State and look ahead to Nebraska. That's next year on Hawk Talk with Coach Ferentz. We're brought to you by Steel. This holiday, and happy holiday, happy Thanksgiving. Get power that's ready to work right out of the box. Buy select Steel battery tool sets and get a free extra battery. Steel, S-T-I-H-A-H-L, Steel, proud supporter of the Iowa Hawkeyes. This is Hawk Talk with Coach Ferentz from Learfield.
Iowa fans, with US Mode from US Cellular, you can keep your eye on the game, not on your screen. Whether you're inside the stadium, tailgating in the lots, or listening to the game at home, US Cellular wants you to focus on genuine connections with your family, friends, and fellow Hawkeye fans. That means at game time, you should do less growling and more cheering. So eliminate distractions and build connections by setting your phone to US Mode, because game day is for cheering on the Hawkeyes. Go Hawks! US Cellular, built for us.
As a program, we're always working to compete at the highest level on the field. The Flight Fund is a great opportunity for our fans to contribute directly to our football program, which will benefit our student athletes and all involved with Hawkeye football. Contributions to the Flight Fund will enable us to continue to attract and retain the highest quality prospective players to keep our program in a position to compete at a championship level. Hi, Hawk fans. Coach Kirk Ferentz here. For 40 years, our players have proudly worn the ANF logo to honor the hardworking farmers who keep this country growing. With fewer farmers working the land, their challenges are bigger, but their commitment never wavers. The Iowa Hawkeyes and the Iowa Farm Bureau are proud to stand with these dedicated families who feed and fuel our nation. Thanks for celebrating 40 years of America Needs Farmers. Let's keep standing strong for the people who keep us going strong. To learn more, visit americaneedsfarmers.org.
How do you become America's best-selling brand? Let's break it down. Innovative tech means smarter and safer driving. Intelligent all-wheel drive will keep you ready for anything. And built Ford tough trucks will always get the job done. Plus, come into your local Ford store today and get super low APR financing, big cash back, and great lease offers on Ford's full line of cars, trucks, and SUVs. That's Ford, and that's how you become America's best-selling brand. Sales claim based on calendar year sales.
Hello, Iowa. Here's a promise. Wherever you are in this great state, University of Iowa Healthcare is here for you, even if you never walk through our doors. Educating, caring, leading research, sharing our expertise with all. Because we believe that UI Healthcare is here to make all of Iowa better. UI Healthcare, changing medicine, changing lives. Visit uihealthcare.org.
We love it when the Hawkeyes do their thing, because if there's anyone who can appreciate building a legacy, it's John Deere. We've been growing our team since 1837, recruiting the best thinkers, doers, and makers to craft innovations that outpace the competition. Because whether it's cultivating the earth with a tractor or reshaping it with a 40-ton excavator, the machines we build are building America. Nothing runs like a Deere.
Welcome back to Hawk Talk. Normally we're at View Rooftop in downtown Iowa City in the Hilton Garden Inn with Coach Ferentz, but because of this overlap of basketball and football games this time of year, the Hawks will be playing out in Palm Springs tomorrow night, Tuesday, and Wednesday. So Coach is gracious enough to host us for his final show here in the running backs room in the beautiful Hanson Performance Center. And I think it's appropriate because Iowa runs the football. Moulton, Pat couldn't be more complimentary to Kamari than he was on Saturday. Ground out 80 yards, you know, because even when you're down 2 scores, Coach, time of possession will always be important, and that defense really spent itself those first 3 quarters. They needed a breather, and that running game gave them a breather.
Yeah, they sure did. And, you know, we talked about, Weejan, talked about, you know, some other guys, Drew, the improvement they've made. And you mentioned Kamari, and I could see why Pat would like him. I mean, Kamari is just every step of the way just gotten better and better, and he's deceptively tough and strong, you know, as a running back. He doesn't look – when you meet him, he doesn't look that imposing. But, man, I'll tell you, he's got a great attitude. He just works hard every day, and he is really running the ball well. And those are tough yards. Yesterday they were all tough yards. And, you know, he just kept on banging in there, and just so pleased for him. He's a really good football player, great young guy, and a great team member.
Yeah, Jazz and Ty, Washington. I don't want to miss anybody, but the running. I mean,
Xavier.
Xavier Williams. It's been a running back by committee. Young McNeil. You get such a good stable of running backs coming, but Kamari is still the lead horse. Kirk, we're going to let you go. You've got work to do on Nebraska. But before we do, Beth over in Mokina, Illinois, near Joliet in Chicago. Coach, when we receive invites to bowl games, who determines which one we attend? You, the players, Beth gets, administrators, all of the above? It's a good question. We don't get that one. But, we know Iowa typically is heading to a bowl somewhere, and congratulations on that note. I think it's 24 of the last 25 years now you've been bowl eligible, the Hawks have. But is it a committee decision? I know in the end you and the players have a lot of say-so in that.
Yeah, actually we don't a lot. Our say-so is how we perform, and the better you do. That's one thing I've figured out real early in my career in coaching. The more winning you do, the better things are in life. So it's really a simple formula. There's been a lot of debate over the years about playoff systems and what's fair, what isn't fair. And again, my answer is always, well, win more games. If you win them all, then just everybody can shut up.
Just win.
Other than that one year when somebody got left out, was it Auburn? I think 20-some years ago. But typically, if you win all your games, good things are going to happen. But they do have a pecking order established. Excuse me.
Sure.
Basically, it's a system that the Big Ten's in operation with. So the playoff teams get bowled out, and then they work down the list. So no idea where we'll go, but the more we win, the better it'll be.
Yeah, I mean, we're hearing Vegas and Tampa, but the more victories, as we like to say, the more you win, the warmer the climate gets, or the nicer the weather. Typically,
when we win 6, I tell the guys, okay, we got a bus ride to Detroit.
Maybe the Pinstripe Bowl.
Well, yeah. So let's keep winning to move that. Get off the bus and get on a plane somewhere.
Keep going, yeah. Give us a word before you head back to the film room about Nebraska. I mean, they lost Raiola a few weeks ago. They're playing a young freshman quarterback, and the little bit I've seen of him, he's gifted, and he can move, he can throw, and they're going to be snorting mad after the loss at Penn State on Saturday.
Yeah, going to play a night game at Penn State's no easy trick. Mm-hmm. So that aside, they're really having a good year. I think it's Coach Rule's 3rd year, and you can just see things coming together for their team and their program. And like I said, the last 2 games have gone down literally to the last play. 2 field goals. One looked like a Charlie Brown Christmas tree field goal, and then the other one was, last year was just a heck of an effort by Drew. So I think that right there in a nutshell is kind of the way this thing's gone. It's been really hotly contested, really tough games, and I'm expecting this one to be very much the same, and we've got to go on the road, so that's always a challenge.
Yeah, Memorial Stadium's no easy place to play either. You mentioned Happy Valley, but that is the Big Ten.
It is.
You look at the close losses, the close victories. There's so much parity in this league; it's incredible.
I think and this is a reflection of the changing times in college football with the expansion. The teams that we've brought in, there really aren't many easy outs, and if there are any right now, we haven't experienced them. And I'm looking at Michigan State yesterday, who hasn't won yet. Purdue's the other team that hasn't won. I don't think they played yesterday. I don't know. But just, watching from afar, seeing them on exchange film, both those teams are competing really hard. And they both have good coaches and good coaching staff. So there are no easy outs in this league. And it is shifting, in my opinion. I think it's a little bit more like the NFL. Our league's always been tough and competitive, especially since I've been back. But, I go back to the 80s. There was always a couple teams that just kind of sunk to the bottom each and every year. But I haven't seen that here recently. And certainly this year is a really good example. I mean, there hasn't been an easy team to play. And that's how it should be. It's a great conference. And I'm not saying we're the only conference, but it's a great conference. You can't debate that. Top to bottom, a lot of really tough teams, well-coached teams with good players. And so it's every week's a real. Again, it is like the NFL. You got to fight and scrap each and every week.
Happy Thanksgiving to you and the Ferentz family, and what 15 grandkids now?
We're at a dozen. Yeah, we're at a dozen.
Oh, you're
right
at an
now.
even dozen.
Yeah, a dozen.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay, a couple more on the way, I assume.
First teenager.
Wow. Oh my.
Past fall, and so that's significant. And although she was acting like one, 5 years ago, but that's significant. And right now we're all kind of scattered. But nice thing about playing Friday is that we get to celebrate on Saturday, so it's a pretty good deal. But right now our attention's fully on what we do between now and 11 o'clock or on Friday, and then we'll sit back and take a breath.
Coach, thanks for doing this show each and every week. We really appreciate your time. We know your schedule's stretched thin, but it's a lot of fun to get together and hang out in a little more casual, relaxed atmosphere here at View Rooftop. Thanks again.
We always enjoy it, and it's great to have Pat with us.
Yeah.
Special guest appearance. I love it.
He started the season with a special appearance. He's ending the season with a special appearance.
I think that's only appropriate. That's great.
I am honored to be around this group. It is amazing. Thanks for getting me out of bed, Dolph.
You're fine, Pat. No problem. Hey, when we come back, we like to promote the other sports on Hawk Talk with Kirk Ferentz. And Clarissa Chun, all she's done is won a couple national championships since she stepped foot on campus. And I know, Kirk, you're a big wrestling fan, and Hawkeye women's wrestling is really popular, and they got a big meet coming up here shortly, so we'll wish her the best. And we're going to hear from Coach Chun in just a minute. Next on Hawk Talk with Coach Ferentz from Learfield.
Tournament Club of Iowa, designed by golf legend Arnold Palmer. TCI is his only signature course in the state. TCI is a public course offering a challenging yet enticing experience for golfers of all levels and is managed by Kaler Golf. Cap off your round with breathtaking views and a delicious meal at the TCI Bar and Grill. Looking for a unique setting for your wedding party or outing? Look no further than the newly renovated clubhouse at TCI. Visit tcofiowa.com to book your tee time today.
When it comes to holiday giving, Steel delivers power that lasts. From leaf blowers to pruners, every Steel battery tool is built to perform. And right now, batteries are included. Buy select battery tool sets and get a free extra battery this season. Find savings and gift ideas at steelusa.com. Happy holidays from Steel, proud supporter of the Iowa Hawkeyes. Offer valid for a limited time only at participating dealers while supplies last.
Cancer doesn't care. It doesn't care what you look like, how old you are, what you do, or where you live. We do. University of Iowa Healthcare is doing more to beat cancer than anyone in the state. From second opinions to life-saving treatments that happen here first. We lead the way in research, training, and care because we believe that UI Healthcare is here to make all of Iowa better. UI Healthcare, changing medicine, changing lives. Visit uihealthcare.org.
Can you think of anything that costs the same today as it did 10 years ago? There isn't much. That is, unless you're a Mid-American Energy customer. Thanks to all the renewable energy we're generating, our customers pay nearly the same rate for electricity today as they did back when we were all singing, "Call Me Maybe." And with Mid-American making even more investments in clean energy, you can count on enjoying those same affordable rates for the next decade. Now that's obsessively, relentlessly at your service.
Iowa fans, with US Mode from US Cellular, you can keep your eye on the game, not on your screen. Whether you're inside the stadium, tailgating in the lots, or listening to the game at home, US Cellular wants you to focus on genuine connections with your family, friends, and fellow Hawkeye fans. That means at game time, you should do less scrolling and more cheering. So eliminate distractions and build connections by setting your phone to US Mode, because game day is for cheering on the Hawkeyes. Go Hawks! US Cellular, built for us.
Get ready, Hawkeye fans. New head coach Ben McCullum and the Iowa men's basketball team are ready to hit the hardwood. He's working hard into the corner. Koch hits a three. Oh, talk about catch and shoot. Carver Hawkeye Arena is heating up. Witness the electrifying plays in person and be a part of the roaring Carver crowd. Take in all the action happening at Carver Hawkeye Arena by visiting HawkeyeSports.com on Iowa, and go Hawks. Welcome back to Hawk Talk with Iowa football coach Kirk Ferentz. We've discussed Nebraska. We'll come back to the Cornhuskers in a little bit. Right now, though, we like to feature other winter sports as the timeline crosses between fall and the snowfall. And with us is Iowa women's wrestling coach Clarissa Chun, the defending national champion Iowa Hawkeye women's wrestling team. And that was then. This is now. You're off to a 3-0 start, Coach. What's pleased you most? What have you seen? What have you gleaned in just a few dual meets?
Yeah, definitely was excited to have an all-Iowa team duel here in Carver at the start of the season. Definitely important to get it out there that there's a lot of college programs in the state of Iowa. Mm-hmm. And then I think this past week at Yorktown, having a duel against Presbyterian, who's top within the top 10, number 6 in the country, seeing where we are at with them and had a great result, great fight from our women on the aircraft carriers, which was an awesome experience. So
that had to be extra exciting this past weekend. Of course, it was Veterans Week, which is so special to the United States. But the Hawkeyes competed in what they call the throwdown at the Yorktown. The competition held on the flight deck of the USS Yorktown in Mount Pleasant, South Carolina, just outside of I keep wanting to say Charlotte.
Yeah, I know. I did the same thing.
Charleston. Yeah, Charleston, South Carolina, where the Hawks defeated Presbyterian 35-9. You had 4 Hawkeyes register wins over ranked opponents, Clarissa. That had to please you. Let's start with Nyla Valencia and then Sky Reelan. How did those two perform in your eyes?
Oh, they performed awesome. They've been sidelined last year. Nyla out 2 years in a row with an injury, and her return to mat has been phenomenal. I continue wanting to see what she'll continue to bring throughout the season as she stays healthy. And same for Sky Reelan, really filling into being back and competing and fighting for Iowa. So it was great to watch them compete against really the top 3 in the nation. So.
The other 2 young women who competed and won championships are Reese Laramendi and J.C. Fuller. They got their feet wet last year. They've been competitors for a long time, but solidly consistent.
Yeah, absolutely. It's continuing to have them be challenged and grow within the process of, by the end of March, where are we at? How can we continue to develop them individually on and off the mat so that they're capable and ready, not only technically, tactically, but maybe mentally, emotionally, and the refueling process and just going through all the things and working with them and having opportunities like this to figure out those pieces as they become taking care of business as a professional.
Big picture is you have 11 All-Americans back from that national championship team of a year ago. Kennedy Blades last year, 25-0, 23 technical falls, and 2 pins at 160 pounds. Blades was named USA Wrestling's college competitor of the year. I mean, that's the equivalent of the Heisman Trophy for women's wrestling. And then Kylie Welker returns for the Hawks. She went 28-0 at 180 pounds. She had 21 victories by technical fall and 6 pins. But what is amazing about Kylie's performance is she didn't surrender a point all year. That's very Dan Gable-esque.
Yeah, and she goes out there, and they're both very competitive women out there, and I think they don't think about those type of stats when they're doing it. They just love wrestling. They enjoy wrestling. They love putting on a show if they can and will. Really just super grateful for them to be a Hawkeye and being able for them to get a college education as they enjoy being a collegiate athlete, and especially the fact that it's now an NCAA sport. They aspire to become an NCAA champion.
Talk about the strengths of each, starting with Kennedy Blades and then Kylie Welker.
Oh, they bring a lot of experience on the world stage. They're very competitive from a young age, but more than that, they're better people. They're great teammates. They elevate their team to be better. Together. They're fighting together and there for their teammates through the ups and downs. But really, it's bringing what they do. Like every one of our student athletes on the team, they have something that they always bring to the team, and it's about sharing it with each other, and so that way we can move forward together.
How about Kennedy Blades? Technically, what's her top skill?
Oh, if you get to watch her, she's quick, she's fast, she's explosive. She's known for her great amplitude throws. She likes being able to execute that if she has an opportunity. But yeah, she's quick, she's fast and explosive, and can put points on the board. So she's a very exciting wrestler.
And Kylie Welker?
Same. She's strong. She's very physically strong and quick at her weight class, and she too likes putting up points on the board too. So she'll snap your head to the mat. She will get behind you and try to finish you in parterre, which is the grounded position.
That is the Iowa way. Score points.
Yes.
Coach Clarissa Chun with us here on Hawk Talk with Iowa football coach Kirk Ferentz. You mentioned the NCAA Wrestling Championships, the initial NCAA Women's Wrestling Championships scheduled for March 6th through the 7th in the spring at Extreme Arena. Here in Coralville, the Hawkeyes will look to defend their back-to-back national titles. That's got to have the community excited.
Yeah, this is Wrestletown, USA, so it feels fitting to have the first NCAA National Championships here in Coralville, Iowa, and super excited to have it here and hope to bring that national title back or keep it here at home. We do know we got a lot in front of us. There's great competitors. McKendree had a great recruiting class in Lehigh as well, so and obviously North Central, they're one of our top competitors these last couple of years, and we're not taking it by any means that the fact of what we have done. We got to continue to get better, and so that way we can go after that third national title and the first NCAA title.
Yeah, lots to happen on the mat between now and then. The Hawkeyes return to Carver Hawkeye Arena December 7th, hosting Oklahoma State and 5th-ranked Colorado Mesa for a pair of duels. The bouts will start at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Tickets are $15 just for the adults, for $15 only for adults, $10 for youth. You can purchase tickets at HawkeyeSports.com. What type of competition does Oklahoma State, traditionally one of the great wrestling programs anywhere? And tell us about number 5, Colorado Mesa. What do you expect from them?
Yeah, Colorado Mesa, they've been consistently in the top 5 in the country for the past, since before Iowa was a program, and they have someone on their program that made the U20 World Team. Same with Oklahoma State. They have a girl on their program that's on the U20 World Team. So they have elite athletes on both programs. Oklahoma State, they're a club program right now, but I can see them becoming an intercollegiate program here in the near future, and great energy behind their program as far as, just like you said, the love for wrestling down at Oklahoma State is very deep, strong, and real there. So looking forward to both duels. Oklahoma State and Colorado Mesa have great competitors on their team, and just want to test ourselves as we build into the season. Yeah, very excited for that duel.
Great to see you again, Coach Chun. Clarissa Chun, Hawkeye women's head wrestling coach, as the season really starts to rev up here around the holidays. Coach, thanks for stopping by on Hawk Talk with Coach Ferentz.
Oh, thanks for having me, and hope to see you guys all at that December 7th duel.
December 7th at, again, Carver Hawkeye Arena, Iowa, Oklahoma State, and number 5, Colorado Mesa. And that is a 2 p.m. They go to the mat, 2 p.m. in the afternoon. Back with more on Hawk Talk right after this pause.
At MidAmerican Energy, our 1.6 million customers depend on our energy 24/7. That's why we work 24/7 to deliver the safe, reliable energy you need. To keep our 99.9% reliability record, we're enhancing our technology, improving resiliency, and investing in critical infrastructure. We're generating power from all available resources to cover any increases in demand. And we're innovating to ensure you always have the energy you need. MidAmerican Energy, obsessively, relentlessly at your service.
Iowa fans, with US Mode from US Cellular, you can keep your eye on the game, not on your screen. Whether you're inside the stadium, tailgating in the lots, or listening to the game at home, US Cellular wants you to focus on genuine connections with your family, friends, and fellow Hawkeye fans. That means at game time, you should do less scrolling and more cheering. So eliminate distractions and build connections by setting your phone to US Mode, because game day is for cheering on the Hawkeyes. Go Hawks! US Cellular, built for us.
When it comes to holiday giving, Steel delivers power that lasts. From leaf blowers to pruners, every Steel battery tool is built to perform. And right now, batteries are included. Buy select battery tool sets and get a free extra battery this season. Find savings and gift ideas at SteelUSA.com. Happy holidays from Steel. proud supporter of the Iowa Hawkeyes. Offer valid for a limited time only at participating dealers while supplies last.
Hello, Iowa. Here's a promise. Wherever you are in this great state, University of Iowa Healthcare is here for you, even if you never walk through our doors. Educating, caring, leading research, sharing our expertise with all. Because we believe that UI Healthcare is here to make all of Iowa better. UI Healthcare, changing medicine, changing lives. Visit uihealthcare.org.
We love it when the Hawkeyes do their thing, because if there's anyone who can appreciate building a legacy, it's John Deere. We've been growing our team since 1837, recruiting the best thinkers, doers, and makers to craft innovations that outpace the competition. Because whether it's cultivating the earth with a tractor or reshaping it with a 40-ton excavator, the machines we build are building America. Nothing runs like a Deere.
Back to wrap up the season and our final show on Hawk Talk with Pat Anger and head coach Kirk Ferentz. I'm Gary Dolphin. Thanks to Coach Ferentz again for his attendance each and every game week throughout this season. We're not done. Iowa, Nebraska coming up on Friday, and then we'll talk perhaps about a bowl show down the road before the Hawks play. We don't know where and when, but we'll know here in just a couple weeks. Want to thank our kid captains all year long. University of Iowa Stead Family Children's kid captain. Our final kid captain is 9-year-old Millie Judge of Des Moines. Millie was transferred to UI Stead Family Children's Hospital shortly after birth with breathing issues and underwent open heart surgery at just 4 months. My goodness, what a trooper. She was diagnosed with a rare condition called Banyan-Riley-Ruvalcaba syndrome, which requires ongoing care and monitoring. Despite multiple surgeries and health challenges, Millie continues to thrive and inspire everyone around her. Pat, anybody who has kids, your heart breaks for that situation, but your heart is also encouraged by what they do at Stead Family Children's Hospital.
100%. They are as good as it gets.
Want to thank John Deere for their great sponsorship all season long. John Deere loves to see the Hawks do their thing, because if anyone can appreciate building a legacy, it's Deere. That Deere and the 10-pointers look great on that Duke Slater field over at Kinnick. They've been growing their winning team since 1837 at John Deere. So whether you're cultivating the earth with a tractor or reshaping it with a 40-ton excavator, nothing runs like a Deere. Did you play Nebraska when you were at Iowa?
No.
Okay.
No,
series started a couple years after you left, I believe.
Yep. They didn't want to play. They wanted to wait until I graduated. I don't blame Nebraska.
They wanted to wait till you left. Yep. I think that's a good note to end on. We'll see you at Memorial Stadium Friday, partner.
Heck yeah.
Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. Thanks again to View Rooftop for hosting all season long Hawk Talk with Kirk Ferentz from Learfield.
This has been Hawk Talk, brought to you by Steel. This fall, power up with Steel, a proud supporter of the Iowa Hawkeyes. Bud Light, easy to drink, easy to enjoy. U.S. Cellular, the official wireless partner of the Iowa Hawkeyes. U.S. Cellular, built for us. Iowa Corn. You might think Iowa just grows corn, but the truth is, corn grows Iowa. Brought to you by Iowa's corn farmers of the Iowa Corn Growers Association and the Iowa Corn Promotion Board. Also brought to you by your Iowa John Deere dealers. John Deere loves to see the Hawkeyes do their thing, because if anyone can appreciate building a legacy, it's Deere. By your local Ford dealers. University of Iowa Healthcare, changing medicine, changing lives. Linux and your local Linux home comfort specialist, made right here in Iowa since 1895. And by Mid-American Energy. Mid-American Energy is proud to deliver affordable, reliable energy to you all season long. The preceding has been a Learfield presentation on the Hawkeye Sports Network.